Hey guys, what's going on and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to install this 11-inch Android display in your Mercedes Benz W204 pre-facelift. And where did this display come from? It came from CKM Car Designs. I'm going to go ahead and leave their website in the description section below. You want to reach out to Chris Lund and he will hook you guys up with this beautiful product. I guarantee you, you guys are going to love working with him and you guys are going to love this screen because he's dedicated. If you have any problems with your product, shoot him an email. He will respond back pretty dang quick and he will not rest till you're happy. He will constantly email you back making sure that you are satisfied with it. I am completely satisfied with this. But today I'm going to be showing you guys step by step how to install this into your complete command system. It doesn't matter whether you guys have the HK system. It doesn't matter whether you guys have aftermarket amplifier or an amplifier that came with the Mercedes. None of that matters because this is a display upgrade. It does not affect your command system down here. A matter of fact, this is the only module on the market that retains your factory command display. You guys can access your command display and you guys can use your wheel and you guys can access all of your previous old features on here as you normally would, so you guys don't interfere with the Mercedes Benz software of the vehicle. That's pretty cool. So let's go ahead, jump right into this video. But first, let me say a couple things. Number one, there will be another video coming out 2 seconds after this video airs that will be dedicated strictly to using the display. This video itself is dedicated to installing the display. This is everything that comes inside that big box. Yes, it seems like a lot of stuff, and yes, it seems like it's completely overwhelming, and some of you guys are already having a heart attack, like, oh my god, are you gonna really install this inside your car? I don't want to do that inside my car. But relax, take a deep breath. This is really easy to install. It's super simple. This right here is going to be your quad lock that it's going to hook up to your factory quad lock connection. And then this is going to go to your command system. That's how easy that is. And then from here down, these are all the connections that are going to go to this radio over here. This is actually not even a radio, so I don't even know why I'm calling it that. It's more of an infotainment display system because you will still be able to access your factory display from here. So you can switch between your old display and your new display. So your old display is going to look ginormous, or you guys can switch over to your new Android display and it's going to have a lot more features into it, like YouTube. You guys can go on the internet, all sorts of stuff like that. And of course, for the old Mercedes, the old W204, you guys have this adapter box right here that for the video cable. And then here's the GPS antenna. You do have to run a GPS antenna if you guys want to use the new Android apps like Google Maps, because it won't be able to use the factory GPS antenna, which this isn't that hard to do. That's just running it to another spot. And then here is the adapter plate for the pre-facelift model for the 2008 to 2010. If you guys have a newer one than 2010, you guys get the new adapter plate for that, so it will fit into your car. Let's go ahead and start disassembling our radio inside the car and showing you guys step by step how to move your old wires to these new quad connections and plugging it all in and getting it going. So let's go ahead and jump right into this install. The very first thing that you're going to want to do is take your car keys and turn it on to position number 1. That's going to open up my screen, and then I'm going to go after these little tiny holes that are right above the AC vent. If you don't see them in your car, they got these little rubber things. Just pop off the rubber things and you'll see the holes. Get a 90-degree Husky pick tool and you'll be able to get this thing out in no time. Now just pull it straight out just like that, and then close your display. In my case, mine is motorized, so I have to press the button. And then after it comes down, I will disconnect the button's capabilities just like that. And then the upside down of this, there's the hazard lights. Let's go ahead and unplug those. And then you have your AC vent. So let's unplug that and then set the whole AC system off to the side. Now,
for the next thing you're going to want to do is take your car keys out of the ignition, and then we're going to start taking the screen off. There's T25s to the right bottom corner, and then there's another T25 on the left side. Make sure you get both of them off before you try and remove the screen. With both of them off, you want to go ahead and take the T25s off for the command unit. They're located right below it. You can't miss them. And then if you look right now, there's a size difference. The command units are really tiny, and the screen ones are really big. Don't mix them up. I know it's going to be easy too, so don't. Now to get this thing off, you just want to push straight up from where you guys pulled the screws out, and the whole screen will come out like so. Now this silver connection is your video display, where you're going to go ahead and unplug that and set that aside. You're going to be using that later. Now this is the motorized feature. For mine, I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it. Those of you guys that don't have a motorized one, aren't you lucky that you don't have to do this step? So now I'm holding an $800 piece of equipment made by Siemens. I'm just going to go ahead and safely set this aside because this is actually worth some serious money. Now, with it aside, I can go ahead and start taking the command unit out of the vehicle. Get your 90-degree pick tool and pull straight up on these little black locks that are right where you pulled your T25s from. You can't miss them. They're right there. Look, there's one there and there's one there. Now with both of them straight up, you're going to want to pull the command unit out towards you and up. So it's going to come out just an inch, and then you're going to push up, and then it's going to slide out just like a oven door. Now set something nice and fluffy down on your shifter so you don't scratch it up and mark it in any way, shape, or form. Carefully set the wires off to the side and move the AC wire once again out of your way. Now this quad lock, to get it off, it's like a plastic bag clip for your chips. You're just going to squeeze the little tab on the bottom and ta-da! The quad lock is off. Now, those of you that have an HK or an XM radio are going to have fiber optic lines like this. Including those of you that have an amplifier, you're going to have a fiber optic line. So take a pick tool and then carefully just press the little pin to release it, and the fiber optic cable will be free. There you go. Go, you little expensive piece of cable. Now carefully set this thing aside. Try your best not to break it. It's kind of hard to do, but try your best not to break it. Next thing that you're going to want to do is start to connect the factory quad lock to your new quad lock. Now this is where it gets kinda simple. Actually, it's really simple. You're gonna go ahead and take your new quad lock and you're gonna plug it into your factory one. So open up that potato chip clip looking thing, press it in, and then close the potato chip looking thing. You're gonna see that. Go ahead and close it just like that. Now this is the new part right here, and as you guys can see, they have space for the fiber optic cables, so you're going to go ahead and move the fiber optic cables to the new one just like so. See, that wasn't that hard. And you're going to make sure you want to line up your fiber optic cables to where they need to go, so get that right, that way your stuff still works. Now go ahead, open up the bottom of the clip, and then, but before you do that, let's talk about the power cable, which is this right here. This power cable for the new screen, we need to run that all the way from the bottom right corner up to the top right corner. In this case, I'm using a very big zip tie, and I'm using it as a fishing line to get to the back corner of this area. It's kind of hard for me. My fingers don't really fit here, so this is making it a little bit easier. I'm able to pull the zip tie out, and then I will tape on the power connector onto the zip tie, and then I will carefully pull it up into the display area. Just like so. Just be very careful as you pull it. Take your time. Nobody's in a rush. That way you don't have the zip tie loosen and then you're stuck with this thing in the no man's zone. So there you go, just give it a gentle little pull and guide it a little bit, and then in no time it will be up there, just like that. Now, it does come with an auxiliary connection. This is really important because if you want to hear the sound that's coming from your display, you're going to want to connect it to your auxiliary plug inside your car. But wait, those of us that have a Bovie system like this, you guys can use your Bovie's Bluetooth and you do not need to use your aux cable. So let's go back to this quad lock. You're going to go ahead and open it up 90 degrees like this, and then you're going to shove it into the position where it goes. Now just be careful where you shove it, make sure you're shoving it in the right spot, then it'll go in like butter, and then you go ahead and close that clip just like so, and it is that easy to put on your new connections for your screen. That wasn't hard at all. Now let's go ahead and go to the next step. Those of us with an old display, the pre-facelift, you're going to want to connect this silver box to your factory's display cable. So you're just going to go ahead and you're going to shove it in. Just go ahead, and you can't break anything, just shove it straight into there. Now those of us with a facelift Mercedes, you guys can just bypass this step entirely because your plug is just going to plug in directly. Now, I would recommend wrapping this thing with something nice and insulating so it doesn't rattle around, and then tucking it in back there. Now, as you guys can see, it comes with this red cable. This red cable is going to plug into that yellow cable that says 12 volts on it. Now, I'm having a difficult time finding a spot for this, but I think I found a good spot right here on the left side. So, there we go. We're just gonna leave it right there. Now, this red cable and this yellow cable have to plug in, and I use bullet connectors to make my life easy. So I can unplug it and plug it whenever I want if I want to redo anything. See? That wasn't that hard. And then you just put everything back there, and I'm going to tuck that motorized cable back there so it doesn't rattle around as well. Now, like I said, I would recommend wrapping all of this with Tessa tape or putting some sound insulation in this area, which I will do at another time. It's just not important for me to show you this right now. So, with everything all nice and tucked in, you're going to go ahead and plug the new Farca cable to the silver box's Farca cable. And as you guys can see, it also comes with a USB. That USB is going to be really important if you guys want to update your screen later on down the road. So there you go. We're going to go ahead and plug in the two green cables together just like that. It's that easy, and look at all these video connections they give you. Too bad the only one that works is the one that says camera. All the other ones that say out are useless. So if you guys want to plug in a backup camera, you can plug it in right there. And this is going to be your display cable for your screen. I'm just going to go ahead and take a little bit of electrical tape and wrap these up so that way that they don't rattle around inside my car, because I hate the sound of rattly noises. This isn't that difficult. Just give it a few little passes, and there you go. You got a nice and tight cable, and then carefully start shoving everything back into that area. Yeah, just right about there. Let's go back to this USB cable. Now, I'm going to go ahead and push that USB cable down to the bottom right corner of this whole thing. Now, Chris does send you a cable so you guys can plug it in here if you don't have an auxiliary cable, but I do, so I'm just going to go ahead and throw that on the ground. Now, this USB cable, I want it to come out right here, right in this spot. I want it accessible to me at all times, so I'm going to take my zip tie, fish it up into the cubby area, just like so. I think it may be easier to come from the top. Let me just give that a go. Yeah, definitely easier. So then I will tie the USB cable to the zip tie. Just give it a few passes with the electrical tape so it's nice and snug. I don't have to worry about this thing getting loose as I pass it through. And then what I'm going to do is pull it down ever so gently till it comes right near the passenger's feet well area. And then once it's down here, I will take the electrical tape off, and then I will close the upper part, just making sure that that cable is not obstructing anything and everything closes all nice and smooth. And by doing this, it allows me to have an accessible USB port right there, just within arm's reach, and I'm able to plug in a USB in there and update this screen as needed, or have pictures, or maybe somebody wants to plug in their Android phone in there. Now let's get to the actual adapter piece. This adapter piece is specific for my model car. If you have a different 204, you can have a different adapter piece. You're going to want to go ahead and feed your video and your power cables into this adapter piece, and then remove that bottom trim piece. You're going to need that later. So let's go ahead and just fit it, just to make sure everything fits perfectly. Now let's give it a little bit of a push, and look at that. It is flush. It even has that crease on the center. It looks fantastic, and it's wow, it's just incredible, the fit and finish of this. But we still forgot about this GPS. As long as you use Google Maps, you're going to want to install this GPS. You don't have to run the wire out into the car, even though it has 3M tape. All you're going to want to do is just pull this back a bit, and then take the whole GPS and shove it right there on the left side. There's going to be a nice little cubby over there. We're just going to shove everything off in that direction, because the GPS is going to be able to work perfectly well from that spot. There's no need for them to give you 30 feet of cable. I mean, maybe if your car is made out of stainless steel, yeah, I could see you having to do that, but in this case I'm just going to leave it there. And then you guys are going to feed that GPS cable through that left square where you fed your display cable through. Now make sure everything's in there nice and perfect, and then grab your screen. Now this gold connector right here on the bottom is where you're going to connect your GPS. Gold GPS to gold connector. It's like somebody thought of this on purpose. Just going to go ahead and screw that on there, hand tight. There's no need to bust out crescent wrenches and start breaking stuff. There's plenty of time for that in life, but this is not it. Treat this like you would treat anything that's expensive, because this is expensive. Not really, but no, it is expensive. I take it all back. So get it on there, and then just turn it so it's facing the display side. Just keep turning it just like that, and make sure it's on nice and tight. Now grab your display cable and then plug it in right there. It's going to make a click when you get it in correctly, just like that. Click. And then you guys are going to grab your power cable and you're going to plug that in. Same procedure. You're going to press it in until you get a nice little click. Just push on the two sides like so, and it goes click. And with this all in position, your screen is almost ready to go. Actually, right now you can actually turn it on and make sure that everything you did is correct. So let's go ahead and turn that key over. Oh yeah, that looks good. Oh man, look at that boot screen. And now your screen will be on and fully functional. As you guys can see here, I have 2 doors open, and it's telling me that the screen is nice, fluid, and smooth. Everything looks like it's all loaded up here beautifully. Let's go ahead and check the FM radio, and push, and holy shit, check that out. It is your factory screen right on there. Yes, this massive 11-inch behemoth does retain your factory screen, but you have to make sure that these canvas wires are wired in correctly. I have them wired B to B and AB to A, and it seems to work beautifully on my car. Your car may be different, but if it's different, Chris will tell you a combination. And yes, you can still use your factory wheel. You can use it on this screen, and you guys can use it in the new screen. And check it out, your factory clock is adjustable still. Now very carefully shove all of this down into that bottom left corner. You may have to spread it around like I'm doing so, but we're trying to stuff serious amount of wires into a very small hole. Those of you guys that are freaking out like, oh my god, it's going to overheat. No, it's not. There's actually an AC part that is down there that cools off the radio. Now, let's go ahead and screw on the factory screen, not the factory screen, your new screen, on to the actual clips. Then clip in your AC vents, just like so, and your hazard lights, don't forget about those, plug those in too. And then don't worry about plugging in the motorized part, because guess what, there is no more motorized feature. Now very carefully, make sure you lift the screen out of the way, and then press in your AC vent, just like so. It's going to be a little bit tricky at first, but it will go in, and then press it in, the whole thing will just click. And there you go, the whole thing's in. And don't forget about this trim piece. This trim piece is going to hide everything here, and it's going to make it look nice and flush. Start on the right side. I found that makes it a lot easier. Just go ahead and shove it in on the right side, and then work your way towards the left, just like I'm doing. Oh, sorry, the camera got out of angle. Just go ahead and shove it in. It's kind of, there you go. And then start pressing it in. If you guys ever want to take this out, you're going to have to use a pick tool and pick it in at the angle. And just like that, it is going to look factory. Let's give it one more press, and there you go. You have a factory looking center console. Tell me that does not look flush.
Now all you have to do is simply lower the screen on and press it down, and you're all done.
Well, there you have it, guys. It was that easy to install, and once again, thank you to CKM Car Designs for letting me know that this product actually exists, and thank you for Chris Lund and all of his support. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I would love to have you as part of the community, not for the giveaways, but to actually grow a community. I want to physically have a Mercedes Benz community that is connected. And I want to have enough people send emails to Mercedes and tell them that they made a big mistake by not releasing that A-Class hatchback in America and only making it available to Canada. But that is for another video. In the meantime, take care, guys.